Welcome to another episode of The King's Court, or as we call it, the Bethesda Brothers podcast. I am the KingFanMan with my co-host, the legend Joey Caps. How you doing, Brother Joe?
Stupendous. How are you, King?
I love it when you're doing stupendous. And you know what? If you are a Bethesda fan and a Fallout fan specifically, you are going to be doing stupendous as well, because there is some exciting news, and you've probably already heard about it. A Fallout TV show has been announced, and we're going to be learning more about it probably at QuakeCon coming up August 7th through the 9th. What do you think about a TV show, a Fallout TV show? What do you think about that, Joe?
We're getting a freaking Fallout TV show! What do you mean, how do I feel? I'm so excited! I can't even imagine what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do it, when they're gonna do it. I'm really excited. I'm happy it's happening. The one thing I'm curious about, and King, we did not discuss this prior to the podcast. The one thing I'm curious about, though, I mean, maybe because The Witcher did it already, but how come Elder Scrolls wasn't dabbled in here?
That's interesting. You know, Todd Howard has been approached several times about Skyrim specifically being a TV show, and he's turned them down. So I wonder about that. You know, before, what was the TV show? The Game of Thrones was put on Skyrim. They wanted to put that as a TV show, and Todd Howard turned it down. So that would have been great as a TV show, but now we're getting Fallout instead. So, you know, maybe us Fallout fans are getting a treat since Todd turned them down for Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of with that, Todd Howard turning them down for Skyrim, you know, turning that down, is because maybe he doesn't want anybody else dabbling in Elder Scrolls. I mean, but then you had ZeniMax Online making Elder Scrolls Online, so who the heck knows?
No, but I think what you said really had an impact. I really believe the Witcher TV show really had an impact. It on Netflix was a huge success, and I believe that had an impact on Bethesda Studios and Todd Howard, and I believe that swayed them into saying, hey, there is something here, and we need to get in on this.
Yeah, and it's interesting though why Elder Scrolls though wasn't picked then. Like if they had an epiphany, you know, how come Elder Scrolls wasn't picked? Because that would have done incredibly well. But the reason why I bring up The Witcher 3 is because Elder Scrolls and The Witcher 3, that would be like a similar thing, you know? And when you have Fallout and The Witcher 3, that's totally, well, The Witcher, that's totally different. You know, it's not they're not the same at all.
I'll tell you why they're doing Fallout right now instead of the Elder Scrolls. It's because there is no Elder Scrolls game going on. There is a Fallout game going on right now. And if you know what happened when they did the Witcher TV show, the sales of The Witcher 3 went crazy. And of course, that game had already been, you know, it was not a current game, but the sales of The Witcher 3 went crazy, and of course the talks of a new game. But the Elder Scrolls 6 is not anywhere close. But of course Fallout 76 is going on, and we're going to talk about possibly maybe another Fallout game coming soon. But I believe it's to promote the Fallout game that's going on. And so Bethesda made a smart move in going with Fallout instead of the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I love my Fallout, favorite game series of all time. I love my Fallout, so I ain't arguing. It's just I'm curious though as to what made them select Fallout over Elder Scrolls.
Well, doesn't that make sense, because there is a current Fallout game going on right now?
Yeah, but you would also,
and it would bring people into that Fallout series.
Yeah.
it's going to be mainstream. I mean, this is going to be a TV show. It's gonna bring people and say, "Hey, Fallout, let's go check it out."
You would also figure too that if an Elder Scrolls TV show was brought in, that maybe that would
then people could go
over.
buy Skyrim.
Yeah, but that would hold people over till Elder Scrolls 6.
I think everybody that was going to buy Skyrim has probably bought Skyrim by now.
You'd be surprised though. You would be surprised.
Okay,
I have cousins who play games that don't play Skyrim. You never know.
You never know.
Really never know.
Maybe they would sell it again, make a new remake of Skyrim. Okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah. About being that we're talking about Skyrim, King. What's so interesting about Skyrim? How many people like it? Like, it's so freaking mainstream.
Oh yeah.
Like, I have a few friends on Facebook that have made posts about Skyrim, and if you were to tell me that these people would be playing Skyrim, I'd be like, no, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They would never pick the game up, and they're playing Skyrim. Like, what is it about Skyrim that just appeals to people?
It does.
It's a good game. That's not what I'm saying, but that appeals to a player that generally wouldn't play a game like that.
Right.
Like, wouldn't touch The Witcher 3. They wouldn't play Assassin's Creed. But for some reason, they pick up Skyrim and they love it. I wonder what the thinking behind that is.
That is
strange. It's very weird. Like, I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I mean, this kind of makes more sense, but I know a guy who I used to work with. He plays Call of Duty, plays Halo, and that's all he plays. But then there's Skyrim. It's like he doesn't really play RPGs, but he plays Skyrim. It's weird. It's that's the one thing that makes me I'm a little surprised with is how come they didn't do Elder Scrolls, but they're doing Fallout. Fantastic Fallout TV show, and I wonder if it's going to be canon. I wonder if it's going to lead on to, let's say, a Fallout 3 remake or something.
Yeah. And hey, if this is a success, there may be an Elder Scrolls TV show on down the line. That's the good news. A little bit more about this TV show. Of course, you've probably heard it's coming from director Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. They are the directors and producers of Westworld, a very famous TV show, very popular TV show. So, kind of a gritty TV show, and I'm sure that's probably what we're going to get with Fallout. So that's very exciting to me. I don't want a cartoony type show. I'm wanting that realistic show.
Yeah, and that's also why I think we're getting a Fallout, because of they needed the right people to create this, to make this happen, to bring it to life. And maybe the right people weren't there for Elder Scrolls, but they were there for Fallout. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it could have been a perfect fit, and I think it is. So and bringing on people who are highly successful to create this show, to help make this show, that's huge. It's not like Bethesda is bringing in a few schleps, just a few guys to, random people out there in the TV world and make them create Fallout and have it flop. They're bringing in people who are proven to run a successful show,
Absolutely.
to produce a successful show. So I don't think this is gonna fall flat. I think it's gonna be really good. I think it's right up their alley, and that probably answers my question as to why there is no Elder Scrolls TV show, because there isn't that perfect fit.
Well, let's talk specifics. You talked about canon. Will it be canon? Let's talk about where it will be, when it will be, and will it be canon? Where will this show be located? A huge question. Are they going to put it in West Virginia during the time of Fallout 76? That would make a lot of sense, since that is the game that's going on right now. I really don't think that's where the show's going to take place. me personally, I don't think that's what they're going to do. I look for them most likely to put it in Washington, D.C. during the time of Fallout 3. I just really think that's probably where the show is going to be. And yes, I do think it's going to be mostly canon. Now, I think they'll take some TV, what do they call it, liberties. But yes, I think it's going to pretty much go by what Fallout 3 was. And I think we're going to see some similar characters, some people that we did know from the game. And I think it's going to be really good and follow the game. And I think people that played Fallout 3 are really going to love it. That's my guess on what the show's going to be.
It makes sense. When they showed the teaser, you saw Bethesda Game Studios.
Mm-hmm.
So prior to this podcast, you said it, Kink. It wouldn't make much sense for them to touch on the West Coast because that's not their territory. BGS.
No.
They're more, obviously East Coast,
That's
clearly. Right. So it makes sense for them to start on the East Coast, and it makes sense for them to start with Fallout 3, or because it was their first game. It was their first Fallout.
And think about it, they could do a couple of seasons in Fallout 3 and then go straight into Fallout 4, go to Boston, do a couple of seasons there. You got a great TV show for 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, or you could have a great TV show for 10 seasons. This show, it doesn't even have to end if it goes crazy. Imagine if this show goes crazy, right? And it takes off just like, let's say, The Walking Dead did, right?
Yes.
Imagine that. We don't even know the actors in the show.
Right.
We have no idea. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you watch The Walking Dead, please do not leave comments down below.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Hold on, wait.
That's a whole other podcast we can have.
But I wonder if they're going to take maybe the guy who used to play Rick on The Walking Dead, have him be in this Fallout show. Like something like that. Characters from that show. I think that'd be really cool.
He can be.
But what were you going to say?
No, we could have a whole other podcast on name the actors that you would like to be in this. Take the Fallout 3 characters and put the actors in there that you would like to be. Oh man, what fun we could have there.
So many good characters and actors in The Walking Dead that are now dead. And they would be great in this.
Absolutely.
They would be great. Andrew Lincoln played Rick, like I said. He would be fantastic, man.
But now, wait just a minute before we put it in Washington, D.C. for sure. Like I said, that is my guess. That is what I think is the most or the best possibility. But it could still be in West Virginia. That would be great publicity for the game. That'd be a great place to start. And they could still do that. And then, as you said before the podcast, then do a time jump to Fallout 3 later on. So they could still do a TV show right there in West Virginia. That would be great as well. But what about doing a TV show, say, in New York or somewhere else, advertising for, give me a drum roll, a brand new single-player Fallout game?
King, listen, you're making me sweat right now. I absolutely love it. But 76 is still here. We got Starfield. We got Elder Scrolls 6. However, maybe this new Fallout game could be a remake, maybe a remaster, a brand new title, like you just said, a brand new single-player game. But BGS couldn't make the game, not because it wouldn't be good, it would be great, but because they're focusing on Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6.
Yes.
So they would have to create another studio within or outsource it, which is less likely, in order to make another Fallout game. That's the issue. And I think they're more likely to, let's say, because by now people want a Morrowind remaster, they want Oblivion remaster,
Fallout 3
Fallout 3
remaster.
remaster, Fallout New Vegas remaster. They could literally create their own studio that just remasters games. That's
Yep.
all they have to do, and they would have releases forever.
Yep.
Because by the time after they come out with all these remasters or remakes, then Fallout 4 is time to be remade.
Exactly.
So it's I don't know. Maybe they will do that. I don't know. But that's the only way I think that's going to happen because of Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6.
If this is in Washington D.C., like just think what the sales of a Fallout 3 remaster would do.
See, I think they need to go down the route of a Fallout 3 remake. I wouldn't do I would do remake.
Oh yeah.
I feel you're better off. It's better off that way entirely. But
again, looking at the success of what The Witcher did, I mean, if they can do anything close to how the Witcher TV series did, if they can do anything close to like that, and then this TV show is, like I said, in Washington D.C., and then along with that, one of their studios does anything with Fallout 3, just think of what the sales of that game would be.
It's and also this TV show, man. A lot of people weren't happy with the multiplayer Fallout game.
Yeah,
a lot of people weren't. It's not the same as the other Fallouts. It's totally different. I adapted to the game. I love it. You've been playing it since day one. But I feel like them creating... I don't think it's a good idea for them to associate this show with 76, even though it would be a good business move.
It would be a very good business move.
I think they would... I would rather see them associate it with 3 or 4, or maybe West Virginia, but 200 years after the bombs fell.
Yeah.
Like in the same timeline as Fallout 3. So then we see West Virginia years later, not just 25 years like in the video game, but 200 years later.
It's a good idea, but let me give the devil's advocate for just a minute, since we're running out of time. The one thing I would love about it being based in West Virginia, like you said, it would be a great business because of Fallout 76. It would bring people to the game. But what it would do as well, if they would make it canon, which I think they will with TV liberties, it would bring the lore of the game, which you agree with this. Fallout 76 has some great lore that most people miss. It has some of the best Fallout lore, and most people miss it.
Yeah.
If they did the TV show based on Fallout 76, it would at least bring that lore out so that people would go, "Oh, that's so cool." That would be really neat. So if it does wind up in West Virginia, I'm going to be really excited because, number one, you may see some of those cryptids. Think about seeing the cryptids that are in West Virginia on the TV screen.
The grafted freaking monster.
Yes. So I'm telling you, if the TV show winds up in West Virginia, I'm going to be maybe as excited or more excited than if it's in Washington, D.C., believe it or not.
I think no matter where it's taken place, no matter where it is, people are going to watch it no matter what. Because
absolutely. Absolutely.
And this is just a different animal. If they're angry that it's in West Virginia or that it's in I don't know, Florida, like if they're mad, they're going to watch it anyway because we've never really seen anything like this.
If it's well done, it'll work.
I feel they're bringing in the right people to do it.
Absolutely.
And that's probably why it took so long.
Yes.
For something like this to happen.
Yep.
They needed to wait for the right people. And for Elder Scrolls probably wasn't there. But now it's here for Fallout. bada bing, bada boom. Here it is.
Well,
we're gonna get it.
August 7th through the 9th at QuakeCon, we are going to learn a lot more about it. Not only are we going to learn more about that, we're going to learn more about Deathloop because it is coming December of this year. So we're probably going to get a lot more information about that. We're going to be getting more information about Fallout 76. We just got a huge roadmap about that. So if you are a Bethesda fan, if you are a Fallout fan, you have a huge reason to be super excited right now.
Yeah, King, we discussed this before the podcast, how ticked off I am about the timed exclusives with Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. But my excitement for 76, for the future of 76, just overtakes that. Yes. I can't wait. And they're going to fix the ammo converter, King.
Yes.
They're going to fix that.
Well, How cool is that? Hey, we already talked about.
I like the idea. What?
Anything that comes out bad, they fix it. So if you don't like it, they're going to fix it. That's great.
But you have to really, if you're on Xbox or you play on the PC with an Xbox controller, you have to hit B 1,000,000 times
to get it,
converting ammo, which it didn't really tick me off that much. It's honestly, I didn't really find it that big of a deal, but I think I love that they're addressing it, though. Yes. But I honestly, I don't think it's the worst thing.
So thank you, Jeff, for fixing all the problems. Well, Joe, do you have anything else to say? I'm super excited about everything that's coming.
Do I have anything else?
Yes.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We talked about the TV show the whole time.
The whole time.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
It's been a heck of a journey with you on the Bethesda Brothers podcast.
Yes, and thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.